fraud in terms of boxing. But worse than that, after all his hype about what he was going to do to Joshua, what did we see? We saw a cowardly display from a guy who shouldn't be anywhere near a boxing.
This isn't YouTube drama, kids. This is a federal investigation. I mean, they came rolling in with tanks and helicopters. Take a look for yourself. There were legit soldiers all piled up, hanging off the side of a truck, and they're wearing SWAT or tactical gear. Now, they're all descending upon Jake Paul's mega mansion.
There was no reason for, first of all, you go to jail. Why would Netflix, the biggest streaming platform in the world, partake in anything like that? Just use your brain. And MVP, too much to lose. You go to jail. Federal effing.
Just hate it, bro. I'm good. I have thick skin, but it's just so annoying. It's like, why am I giving?
The truth behind the Joshua accident, which fans can see but no one is talking about, shows subtle patterns behind Anthony Joshua's fight and accident. What seemed like fate hints at careful orchestration. Jake Paul's influence lingers in the shadows, exposing a calculated edge behind events fans rarely notice but quietly shaped the outcome.
I was there before the news broke, close enough to see what the cameras didn't show. The Jake Paul fight didn't feel won, it felt delivered. 6 rounds like a deadline, 33 million live eyes like a quota, breathwork behind doors timed like ignition. A serpent-tongued cue marking the moment fate locked in. Joshua thought the knockout crowned him. He never realized it completed him. The win wasn't triumph, it was transfer. The crash wasn't accident, it was collection. The script didn't go wrong, it came due.
The cameras miss the whispers, the behind-the-scenes tension that surrounds Jake Paul. His jealousy and obsession with Anthony Joshua's rise seep into every public move. While the world applauds the spectacle, the quiet truth is unfolding. Every smirk, every gesture, every calculated moment exposes a man desperate to control a story far bigger than he is.
Every glance, every post, every overblown claim, Jake Paul's envy of Anthony Joshua bleeds through. It's not just a fight he lost, it's a status he can't claim. Behind the flash and the followers lies a restless hunger, a need to rewrite reality. Anthony Joshua moves forward, steady and unshaken, while Paul flails in shadows of his own making.
That's
bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did,
there's no way.
He would be dead. Probably, or fucking...
The reactions around the accident speak louder than headlines ever could. Subtle gestures, nervous movements, and the almost instinctive responses of the Paul brothers hint at truths they cannot fully hide. While Anthony Joshua fights for survival, the others are caught in the web of their own making, revealing more than they intended.
Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, black, whites, Chineses, everybody on earth. This goes out to you. We are not divided. We are one peoples under God, united. That's what we are. Let no government, let no spokesperson, let no politician drive a wedge between humanity. Welcome your brothers and sisters as one. They are not your enemies. They are your brothers and sisters under God. We all came from Adam and Eve. In the beginning, everybody on earth. Remember that. Spread love, not hate. I spread peace, not war. All this talk of all the stuff that's going on, all the political stuff, trying to drive a wedge between humanity and God's children. Let us not go down that path. We are one, united under God in Jesus.
The ripples of Anthony Joshua's accident are still spreading, and the trail points unmistakably toward Jake Paul. Every misstep, every suspicious move in the background builds a pattern. Fans might not see it at first glance, but the pieces fit too neatly to be coincidence. Paul's shadow looms over the incident, and it is impossible to ignore.
Joshua collided with a stationary truck. However, the exact circumstances of the crash are still under investigation. A video of the incident just you've seen, the 35-year-old former heavyweight champion being rescued from the wrecked vehicle appears to have suffered injury. So the traffic officials have spoken about this incident. Let's take a listen to them.
What we'll discover was that men at Shagam unit informed us of the unfortunate incident. From what we got to understand was that there was a trailer that was parked at the shoulder, whereby the vehicle conveying Anthony Joshua and his team did a wrongful overtake, and they ran into that vehicle, which was definitely because of the overspeeding. I didn't think there were no overspeeding, probably that wouldn't have been that fatal. Now, from the report we have 5 people were involved in the total. 2 people lost their lives, and the rest just had injuries. He was not among the people that died anyway, but the DSS details that were with him took him to an undisclosed location, took him to an hospital.
Now, the picture is clear and there's no hiding it. Evidence, patterns, and reactions all point directly at Jake Paul. This was not chance, not bad luck, not an accident. He orchestrated events from behind the scenes, manipulating circumstances to his advantage while Anthony Joshua faced real danger. The truth is undeniable, and it exposes Paul completely.
He could get seriously hurt. I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some compassion in him.
Yeah.
Johnny Nelson's words hit harder than any punch in the ring because they strip everything back to reality. Anthony Joshua survived a moment that could have ended everything, and the value of life outweighs any fight or rivalry. While the world debates headlines, the gravity of the accident is real and sobering. Jake Paul's involvement shadows the story and adds tension, but the focus remains on Joshua and the human cost of these events. It shows how trivial spectacle becomes when life itself is on the line, and why true respect in boxing starts with integrity and survival.
This is serious. This is a serious situation, so you've got to forget that now. This is somebody's son. These are somebody's son. This is somebody's life. These boys have lost their lives. So people need to just put the boxing thing to one side. And I understand, that could have been AJ. AJ could have been sat on the other side. So again, it could have been a Rocky Marciano scenario all over again. But it wasn't. But still, those 2 other lives were just as valuable as Anthony Joshua's. And so you've got to give it the same consideration, the same passion, the same understanding, the same patience. And just, when you're talking career, you know what? It's nothing. It means nothing in comparison.
John Fury's relief is tangible, and it shows the gravity of what Anthony Joshua endured. Surviving something so close to tragedy highlights the fine line between life and death. The sport can wait because survival and health come first. Jake Paul continues to chase attention and controversy, but this moment exposes the emptiness of spectacle compared to real human stakes. Anthony Joshua's resilience and the support of those around him reveal who the true champions of boxing are, inside and outside the ring, and why respect for the man goes far beyond titles and money.
Bless you, AJ. You're one lucky lad. God bless you, my lad. Glad you're alive again. Shocked me, it has. Terrible. Anyway, good luck everybody, and try and enjoy the new year as much as you can and be safe.
The concern from figures like Turki Al-Sheikh emphasizes the seriousness of Anthony Joshua's situation. Brain injuries are never taken lightly, and they remind everyone how dangerous this sport can be even outside the ring. While Jake Paul plays games with publicity, the real consequences of actions become clear here. Joshua's health and recovery are the priority, and the boxing world rallies behind him. These reactions show who truly matters in the sport and who is just chasing clout, because Anthony Joshua's life is more than a headline, and Paul's antics cannot overshadow that reality. Eddie Hearn's caution shows the respect and concern the boxing community has for Anthony Joshua. Health and safety outweigh all else, and this is a reminder that real life always surpasses spectacle. While Jake Paul is embroiled in controversy and accusations, Joshua's focus and the support around him are on recovery and well-being.
Every word here reflects genuine care and underlines the stark contrast between a man committed to the sport and those who manipulate situations for attention or profit. The stakes could not be higher, and Joshua's resilience is what commands admiration.
I don't know, so I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that it doesn't look like he has any major injuries is true, and that would be fantastic, and obviously he'd be a very lucky boy if that was the case. But
Chase Damore captures the fragility of life in boxing and the sudden shift from triumph to peril. Anthony Joshua's accident is a wake-up call that fame and fortune mean nothing against the unpredictability of real life. While Jake Paul thrives on drama and attention, Joshua's situation reminds the sport who matters. Prayers and concern outweigh spectacle, and the world sees clearly the difference between a fighter dedicated to craft and survival and someone chasing headlines at the expense of reality.
Moore said, "I hope and pray that Anthony Joshua is okay. Life happens so fast. 1 minute on top of the world, the next not. Stay safe, boys. Let's finish this year strong."
Frank Warren's reaction highlights how seriously Anthony Joshua's accident is being taken at every level of boxing. Promoters, peers, and fans are all focused on his well-being rather than games or hype. While Jake Paul generates noise and controversy, the real story is about recovery, responsibility, and life itself. Joshua's experience reminds everyone that the sport carries risks beyond the ring, and respect is earned through courage and survival rather than social media theatrics. Every measured response emphasizes that real champions are measured by character and resilience, not by how loud they can make themselves be. Eddie Hearn's words perfectly capture the tension and uncertainty surrounding Anthony Joshua's accident. Behind the headlines and viral clips, this is a moment where life and death intersect, and boxing takes a back seat to human concern. Every fan, promoter, and fellow fighter knows that no title or belt matters in the face of potential tragedy. The phrase "very lucky boy" carries weight because it implies how close Joshua came to something irreparable. In contrast, Jake Paul's world thrives on chaos and spectacle, yet here is a situation he cannot control, cannot spin, and cannot monetize. The sport is seeing clearly the difference between genuine commitment and reckless opportunism. Every cautious word from people like Hearn highlights the gravity of the accident, emphasizing that Anthony Joshua's focus must now be solely on recovery and protection. Fans are reminded that boxing isn't just entertainment, it is a dangerous profession, and the respect Joshua commands comes from courage, discipline, and surviving against odds that no one in Paul's manufactured world could understand.
But again, I don't know, so I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that it doesn't look like he has any major injuries is true, and that would be fantastic, and obviously he'd be a very lucky boy if that was the case. But
Anthony Joshua's reflection reveals the mindset of a true champion who balances personal responsibility with the demands of a career under constant scrutiny. Before the accident, he recognized the cost of distractions and the importance of sacrifice to maintain focus on his craft. This is a level of maturity and self-awareness that sets him apart from figures like Jake Paul, who thrive on impulsive moves and attention-seeking rather than strategic thinking or self-discipline. Joshua's ability to reassess his life and recommit to boxing shows not only a fighter's heart, but a man's wisdom in understanding priorities and long-term goals. The accident adds weight to his journey, making his resilience and recovery more remarkable. While Paul manipulates situations for spectacle, Joshua demonstrates how true professionals navigate challenges, learn from mistakes, and take ownership of their path. Every decision he makes now is shaped by experience, foresight, and genuine dedication, reminding fans that real champions are defined by consistency, character, and the ability to rise stronger from adversity.
I realized that I was working away from home. I was spending time with my friends, and my wife wasn't happy. So I had to kind of look at the decisions I was making, and I had to come back home to boxing, and I had to sacrifice, I had to take a look at my life, make necessary changes to put my love back to the sport.
The events surrounding Anthony Joshua's accident have exposed a truth the boxing world cannot ignore. Life and legacy suddenly outweigh titles and spectacle, and Joshua's resilience has become the story that matters. Every reaction from promoters, fighters, and fans underscores the gravity of what he survived and the respect he commands far beyond the ring. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's shadow over these events reveals a stark contrast. One thrives on chaos, manipulation, and headlines, the other on courage, discipline, and accountability. This incident has shown that fame without responsibility comes at a cost, and that the sport values integrity and human life over theatrics. Anthony Joshua's focus now is on recovery, family, and returning stronger while the world watches in admiration. The path forward is about resilience, strategy, and reclaiming his narrative on his own terms, not letting others define it. Fans should take note of the difference between those who genuinely belong in boxing's inner circle and those who merely exploit it for attention. What do you think about Jake Paul's role in all this and Anthony Joshua's next move? Do you side with the man who survived against all odds or the one chasing clout? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe for updates, and stay tuned as this story unfolds with every new development.